Demo on how to use Pyxis. As a reminder, Pyxis is designed to save managers or equity portfolio manager, to be exact, time by sourcing investment ideas. Before we get started, let me explain the two components that Pyxis is made of. So the first one is the visualization that you see here, and the second one is the algorithm to predict the 1 year forward return, which we will discuss later down in the demo. For the visualization, we take the financial data and map it out into two-dimensional space using linear discriminant analysis, or LDA. So LD1 and LD2. And then all of the companies are clustered together in one cluster if they have the same financial characteristics. So for example, these cluster 1 in 2017 quarter 1 have these financial characteristics, and we rank them by importance. So EBIT is the one that they share the most common, and clusters that are very tightly knit together have similar financial characteristics compared to, let's say, cluster 5, which are more spread out, which means that they have more diverse financial characteristics. So let's just get started with our demo. So for our first demo, let's say I am an equity portfolio manager and I want to check my intuition that Tesla is similar to Apple or Google because of their technological innovation. So we can do that first by either typing in the ticker or company name or even the GV key of the company Tesla. So once you type it in, you see the blue dot right here which shows Tesla. And as you can see, that Tesla is in cluster group 5. So if you hover on companies surrounding it, like Spark Therapeutics, Paratech Pharmaceuticals, and just going around it, you can see a lot of the companies surrounding Tesla are biotech companies. Now, if we try to see at Apple, Apple is in cluster 4, and Google is also in cluster 4. If we just focus on just those two clusters, we can see that Tesla, which is in group 5, based on these financial characteristics, it looks like these firms have to issue a lot of equity and are growing their assets a lot. Compare that to cluster 4, where Apple and Google are. Cluster 4 have high profitability across the income statement. It means they are profitable firms with low capital intensity and low debt. In other words, Tesla have very different risk profile compared to tech giants like Apple and Google. So I am able to challenge this intuition about Tesla in just a minute. Compare that to what equity portfolio managers have to do right now, which is they have to spend at least a couple of hours looking at the financial statements of Tesla and Apple, and this saves them big time. So in our demo examples, I should focus more on Tesla's ability to continue to raise capital rather than its technological flashy products. So now I want to give you another demo. So instead of, let's say, focusing on the individual firms, we want to focus more on a higher level, the industries. But you know that there are better or worse times to invest in an industry. If there is a wide dispersion among firms, then there is room for me to pick one firm over another. For example, picking Ford versus GM or Coke versus Pepsi. If they are more or less the same, then there isn't much opportunity for my skill at that time. So to actually figure out what industries I should probably look into, I would have to, as an equity portfolio manager, I would have to read reports about the industry, study trends, and try to grasp if there is some dispersion among firms right now. So Pyxis can help you do this. So for example, if we look at the utilities for this year, the companies, the cluster itself is very concentrated and tightly knit. And compare that to the energy industry, as you can see, let me just remove Tesla. It's very widespread. And you might, because of this, I want to focus more of the effort on the energy industry. So let's just focus on the energy industry instead of the utilities. And now that saves you time for research between the different industry. But I can further refine this to just focus on stocks that Pyxis predicts will perform well in the upcoming year. So if we go to our machine learning product, which will predict the 1-year forward returns, and we do the same thing again with just the energy industry, but we want to focus on the best of the best. So if we look at this color, the best of the best is the color blue, and then so we just pick the best of the best. Now instead of looking all of the companies in the energy industry, all you need to do is just focus on a handful of these and read out more about it and get a better sense of the companies. And if you're curious too, you could see what are the different companies that perform well in the energy sector over time. Again, the cluster 1 for each quarter is different. So cluster 1 in one quarter have different financial characteristics. For example, 2013, compare that to cluster 1 in the future is totally different, and the companies themselves are different. So I just want to make sure to make that distinction. And if you wanted to know how we were able to get all of this prediction of 1-year forward return, please feel free to check out our write-up and get a better insight about it. So thank you so much. I hope this is helpful to you on how to use Pyxis, and I hope to talk to you soon. See you later.